We haven't heard much from Kellyanne Conway in the national media after that pathetic embarrassment of the so-called Bowling Green massacre that, of course, never happened and doesn't exist that she mentioned on TV. She mentioned that and then basically stopped doing national media. I don't know if she's been in timeout long enough that now she's out of it, or if things are just getting so desperate for the Trump administration that they figured, hey, let's put her back on TV. But she appeared on a number of programs over the weekend, including on Fox News, to talk about the growing Trump-Russia scandal. Let's start with her appearance on Fox and Friends. She went on Fox and Friends to talk about how it's just no big deal that Donald Trump Jr. met with a Russian lawyer and a Russian lobbyist and blah, 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 blah. And I want to prepare you for what we're about to see and hear. She is about to move the goalposts and use projection and blame Hillary to try to distract from what's going on. But she moves the goalposts herself by accusing others of having moved the goalposts. Just sit down, get the kids out of the room, because this is really, really bad. We don't want to, listen, I'd show them Janet Jackson's breast 10 times before I showed them the atrocity that I'm about to show you.
I'm not even going to watch.
Yeah, Pat's leaving the room himself. Here's clip number 1 of Kellyanne Conway's immediate implosion over the weekend.
Well, even the goalposts have been moved. I mean, we were promised systemic, hard evidence of systemic, sustained, furtive collusion that not only interfered with our election process, but indeed dictated the electoral outcome. And one of the only people who says that seriously these days is still Hillary Clinton, and nobody believes it. We know why she lost. It's obvious. And frankly, you know, when I was campaign manager in those last several months, when I needed negative information about Hillary Clinton, I didn't have to go very far. I looked at Hillary Clinton.
Yeah. So listen, they've been swearing up and down that they never met with Russians. They never talked to Russians. Russians didn't help them with the campaign in any way. That's now undeniable. They've moved the goalposts to the collusion wasn't illegal. And instead, she says that it's others who are moving the goalposts. Then she gets asked a specific question by the bumbling Steve Doocy, and she goes back to blame Hillary Clinton.
But Kellyanne, would people call you up all the time and say, hey, I got some dirt on her, and would you take a meeting with them?
No,
because the president said yesterday that that kind of occurrence happened all the time.
Well, it does, but in the case of Hillary Clinton, it was all there to see.
Yeah, let's talk again about Hillary Clinton. Now contrast this with what Kellyanne Conway herself had to say in January. Listen to how definitive she was here.
Did anyone involved in the Trump campaign have any contact with Russians trying to meddle with the election?
Absolutely not. And I discussed that with the president-elect just last night. Those conversations never happened. I hear people saying it like it's a fact on television. That is just not only inaccurate and false, but it's dangerous.
Does the president-elect...
and it does undermine our democracy.
Nobody was involved. There was no contact. We now have proof in writing. So this is bad enough. But if you can believe it, it gets even worse. She then went on ABC's Good Morning America and claimed with a straight face that the real problem here is James Comey's leaking of information. That's the problem, according to Kellyanne.
Kellyanne, we have to go. The information was sought from the campaign, and those denials were allowed to stand for many months. That's the bottom line. Thanks very much for your time this morning.
I wasn't in the meeting. I wasn't in the meeting, but people amended their disclosure forms, and I think the big bombshell this morning is Jim Comey disclosing confidential information, conversations he had with the President of the United States in his, quote, private memos. That's something Americans should really focus on.
Focus on that. These are liars of the highest order. This is shameless dishonestly, and at this point, it's indicative of panic. And a question for a lawyer would be, at what point, if any, legally speaking, do Kellyanne Conway's persistent public lies become part of the cover-up?
Would you be willing to have a serious conversation with Kellyanne Conway? Because I don't think I would be able to.
I don't know if it's possible.
The projection, shifting the goalposts, I mean, there's just no intellectual honesty there. And we can't even agree on what the facts are because she has alternative facts.
I would have a serious conversation with her if she were capable of doing that. And less substantive, but just as wacky, here is Kellyanne Conway doing rhyming while holding signs up on Fox News.
I just want to review, in case you run out of time. This is how I see it so far. This is to help all the people at home. What's the conclusion? Collusion? No, we don't have that yet. I see illusion and delusion. So just so we're clear, everyone, 4 words. Conclusion, collusion, no. Illusion, delusion, yes. I just thought we'd have some fun with words. Sesame's Grover word of the day, perhaps,
Yeah,
Sean.
when the indictments come in, I hope that she's going to spend her time on something other than picture sign, words on how to, whatever you would even call this nonsense. This is insane, isn't
She's
it?
making it easy for the Fox News audience to understand what's going on.
Yeah, she had to speak to the lowest common denominator. Folks, what is going on here? I'm on Twitter at @dpakman. The show is on Twitter at David Pakman Show. Follow me there. Today's program is made possible by Tagadab, the hosting specialists, offering a range of flexible hosting packages, including dedicated, VPS, and cloud server options, as well as custom server solutions and UK-based co-location services for your business or project. Tagadab's web hosting services support a wide range of customers and businesses worldwide, including bloggers, tech startups, financial traders, gamers, web developers, and more. And Tagadab has a really user-friendly interface, so you don't have to worry about being super tech savvy. They can automate almost everything you need for total ease of use. They are really proud of their team of expert hosting specialists who are also their support team. 70% of their business comes from repeat orders and recommendations. With a growing number of people interested in moving their businesses and projects to the cloud, Tagadab is currently offering our viewers and listeners a 20 British pound free credit, about 24 US dollars, to all customers signing up to give you a chance to try the service. This is a limited availability offer, first come, first served, for viewers and listeners of the David Pakman Show. To take advantage of it, go to signup.tagadab.com/TDPS and use the offer code TDPS20, all one word, all lowercase, during account registration.